Welcome back. We are studying the 8th chapter of Qiddush HaHodesh of Harambam. This chapter is not yet the toughest one. The tough parts of Qiddush HaHodesh of Sod HaIbur are going to begin later. This is still within what I said before was going to be sort of a warm-up. And it's not really a warm-up, but really Sod HaIbur is what you need to know exactly when the moon is going to be and where, and the sun and earth with respect to them, and so on and so forth. These chapters that we've been studying right now are helpful in being able to craft a calendar that lasts forever in those cycles of 19 years with adjustments like the one we follow today. So if you only knew these chapters 1 through 10 of Hilchot Qiddush HaHodesh, you'd be able to, at the very least, understand why the holidays are the dates they are, why we have the Molad, why we have Rosh Chodesh the way we have it. But like we saw in last chapter, none of this is based on the actual astronomical phenomena. This is all based on the average cycle of the moon, which is of 29 days and change, as we said before. So here, chapter 8 still deals with this kind of molad, but with a few adjustments that we do, specifically in terms of when the months are 29 days and when they are 30 days. הלכה א', חודשה של הלבנה, 29 יום ומחיסה וחלקים כמו שביארנו. As we explained before the Rambam, the month of the moon, the lunar cycle around the earth, is 29 days and a half, and some halakim to review is 1 in 1080 on an hour, which is equivalent to 3.33333 seconds. ואפשר לומר שראש החודש יהיה במקצת היום עד שיהיה מקצת היום מחודש שעבר ומקצתו מהבא. But we cannot just split the month in the middle of the day so that, say, a Tuesday, half the Tuesday belongs to Chodesh Adar and half the Tuesday belongs to Chodesh Nisan. שנאמר עד חודש ימים, because we have a few psukim that signify that the month has to do with a full number, an integral number of days. For example, ad Chodesh Yamim. Chodesh Yamim, it specifies that a month has a certain number of days, and it needs to be days. מפי השמוע למדו, חכמים Toras, they interpreted these and other psukim to mean שימים אתה מחשב לחודש, ואי אתה מחשב שעות, that you may add or subtract days. Days are the smallest unit of the month, but not hours. So that's the problem that we have. What is the solution? Because it's 29 and a half. How can we have 29 and a half, but always have to have full days? הלכה ב' לפיכך עושים חודשי הלבנה, מהם חודש חסר 29 יום מלבד, ואף על פי שחודשה של הלבנה יתר על זה בשעות, וחודש מלא מ30 יום, ואף על פי שחודשה של הלבנה פחות מזה בשעות. So that's why we do sometimes a month of 29 days, although this is less than the actual average cycle of the moon, which is 29 and some. And sometimes we do 30 days, that's called Chodesh Maleh, even though this is more than the actual length of the spread or the distance between one molad and the next, which is the average cycle of the moon. כדי שלא לחשב בחודש שעות אלא ימים שלמים. And all of this we do so that we never have to count hours to a month, but rather we do it with full days. הלכה ג' אילו היה חודשה של הלבנה 29 ומחיסה בלבד, היו כל השנים חודש מלא וחודש חסר, והיו ימי שנת הלבנה 354 יום. 6 חודשים חסרים ו6 מלאים. הרמב"ם says one more thing. If the months were exactly 29 and a half days, then that's very simple. The only adjustment we need to do is to do 1 month 30, 1 month 29, 1 month 30, 1 month 29, and with that order, we are great, we are perfect. Each year, each 12 months of the moon are going to have 345 days, 6 of which are maleh, 6 of which are haser, and no more adjustments are needed. אבל מפני החלקים שיש בכל חודש וחודש יתר על חצי היום. However, because it's not exactly 29 and a half, it's 29 and a half and a few halakim, a little bit under an hour. It's 29 and 12 hours and a bit more. It's 793 halakim. So you can imagine that that adds up after a while. יתקבץ מהם שעות וימים. It's going to add up to hours, it's going to add up to days, עד שיהיו מקצת השנים חודשים חסרים יותר למלאים, until it turns out that in some years you need to have months that are, you need to have more months חסר than months מלא in order to make sure that the cycle is respected and it fits and everything coincides. ובמקצת השנים חודשים מלאים יותר לחסרים, and therefore some years you're also going to have some months that are meleim more than the months that are haserim, because you have to every time balance. You will end up having more haserim, more meleim than haserim, and that is because the halakim that are more than 29 and a half, it's more and not less. So it's really closer to 30 than to 29. Therefore, you'll end up having more meleim than haserim for everything to match. Dalet. Yom Sheloshim le'olam osin oto Rosh Chodesh beheshbon zeh. The 30th day, you always do it Rosh Chodesh following all of these formulas. Im haya chodesh she'avar haser, yeh yom sheloshim Rosh HaHodesh haba. If you know that the past month was a month of 29 days, then there is no more questions. This coming month, if Adar was 29 days, Nisan is always going to have 30 days. That is the very first rule that Rambam is giving us in how to craft a calendar like the one that we use today. ואם היה החודש שעבר מלא, יהיה יום 30 ראש חודש, הואיל ומקצתו ראש חודש, ויהיה תשלום החודש המלא שעבר, ויהיה יום 31 ראש החודש הבא, וממנו הוא המניין, והוא יום הקביעה. ולפיכך עושים ראשי חודשים בחשבון זה, חודש אחד יום אחד בלבד, וחודש אחד שני ימים. So, according to this set calendar that we have, it turns out that the 30th day is always going to be Rosh Chodesh no matter what. The only question is if it's going to be the only day that is Rosh Chodesh, or if it's going to be one of two. So, if the last month was Chodesh Maleh, if the last month, Chodesh Nisan, Chodesh Adar was 30 days, now we are in Nisan. So Nisan started the 31st day of Adar, so to speak, after Rosh Chodesh Adar. Then the 30th of Nisan is going to be Rosh Chodesh, and that's going to become already the first day of Iyar, of the next month. And then the next day is also going to be Rosh Chodesh, although it's Bet. And from that one, although it's Bet, from that one we start counting in terms of when is the 30th day from that month. Everything is going to become a little clearer in the next coming halachot. That is a Yom HaKavi'ah. Ulfichach, and that's why Rashi Chodashim, according to this calculation, are done sometimes one day and sometimes 2 days. Halakha he. סדר החודשים המלאים והחסרים לפי חשבון זה, כך הוא. The way that the months are set up, the ones that are 30 days, the ones that are 29 days, is thus. Tishri לעולם מלא. Tishri is always going to have 30 days. בחודש טבת לעולם חסר. Tevet always has 29 days. So Heshvan and Kislev we haven't discussed yet. Those are the two key months in this calendar. Heshvan and Kislev are the only key months. So if anyone asks you, and you know what date is on Tevet, if anyone asks you when is Rosh Chodesh, you have really no excuse to know, because Tevet is always going to be 29 days. ומטבת ואילך, אחד מלא ואחד חסר על הסדר. From Tevet and on, it's also fixed. Always, it's one maleh and one haser exactly in order. Kesad, Tevet haser, Shevat maleh, Adar haser, Nisan maleh, Iyar haser, Sivan maleh, Tammuz haser, Av maleh, Elul haser. So Elul is always going to be haser, and that explains also why we have Rosh Hashanah 2 days. ובשנה המעוברת Adar Rishon Maleh v'Adar Shani Haser. And if you have 2 Adars, then the first one is going to be Maleh, although Shevat preceding it was Maleh. So that's a little bit of an anomaly. You're going to have Shevat Maleh, then Adar Aleph Maleh, Adar Bet Haser, then Nisan Maleh, and so on and so forth. But everything is fixed. Regardless of the year, None of these changes. Chachamim made it very easy for us, so we only have to worry about these 2 months that are coming up right now. Halacha Vav. נשארו שני החודשים שהם מר חשוון וכסלו. We have 2 months left, one being מר חשוון, the other one being כסלו. פעמים יהיו שניהם מלאים, ופעמים יהיו שניהם חסרים, ופעמים יהיה מר חשוון חסר וכסלו מלא. Sometimes both of them are 29 days, sometimes both of them are 30 days, sometimes Mar Heshwan has 29 days and Kislev has 30 days. It doesn't happen, however, that Kislev has 30 days and Mar Heshwan has 29 days. Sorry, it doesn't have the opposite. That's how it happens. It doesn't happen that Mar Heshwan has 30 days and Kislev has 29 days. And this makes sense because if we only need to have 129 and 130, let's just make them continue being the same order. And Tishri, which we just passed, is always Maleh. And Tevet, which is coming up, is always going to be Haser. So that's why the order, if we only have to have one of them be Maleh, is Mar Heshvan Haser v'Chislev Maleh. V'shana sheyiyu ba shnei chodashim elu meleim. Now some terminology. If a year has both of these months being Maleh of 30 days, hishen nikreu chodasheha shelemim. This is a year that's called a year whose months are full. Why? On account of these 2 specific months that were determined to be 30 days each. If the year has these 2 months being haser, it's called a year of which the months are haser. Not because all the months are haser, but because these 2 months that are variable are haser. And if it's Mar Heshvan haser v'Chislev maleh, it's called a year, the months of which are in the right order, because it does follow this order of Tishrei maleh, Heshvan haser, Kislev maleh, and so on and so forth. Halacha zayin. Derech yediat hashana im chodashei hashlemim or haserim. Now, how do you know each year if it's going to be chodashei hashlemim or haserim? או כסדרן לפי חשבון זה, כך הוא. That's how you know. תדע תחילה יום שנקבע בראש השנה שתעשה לידה סידור חודשיה. The first thing you have to know is to know what day of the week was Rosh Hashanah of the year of which months you want to know this. And we studied that in the last chapter, how to know which day is Rosh Hashanah. And you start by knowing Lo Adu Rosh, it's not going to be Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday, ever. כמו שבארנו בפרק שביעי. ותדע יום שיקבע בו ראש השנה שלאחריה. Also you have to know what day is Rosh Hashanah of the next year. ותחשב מניין הימים שביניהם. And then you just count how many days there is, what's the spread between one Rosh Hashanah and the next Rosh Hashanah. Both things you can calculate by the calculations we already have. חוץ מיום הקביעה של הזו ושל הזו. Other than the יום הקביעה of this year and of that year. אם תמצא ביניהם שני ימים, יהיו חודשי השנה חסרים. ואם תמצא ביניהם 3 ימים, יהיו כסדרם, ואם תמצא ביניהם 4, יהיו שלמים. So, you just take the how far into the next week is going to be the next Rosh Hashanah. If it turns out that one Rosh Hashanah was on a Monday, it can never be on a Sunday, and the next year Rosh Hashanah is going to be on a Tuesday. Actually, I don't think it would happen this way either. You can have either 2 days, or 3 days, or 4 days. So let's say you have 4 days. You have the Sunday of 1 year, and or Monday of 1 year, never on Sunday, and then the next year is the Thursday. Then what do you have in between these 2 days without counting these 2 days? You have 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and that brings us to Timsa Benehem Shnei Yamim, and then we know that the Chodshei Hashanah Hasadim, we know that both Mar Heshwan and Kislev are going to have 29 days each. So this is simple. One exception. When are we saying that this is the simple formulation for knowing when is Mar Heshvan and Kislev, when Mar Heshvan and Kislev are Maleh and Haser? ושהייתה השנה שתרצה לידע סידור חודשיה הפשוטה. This is all when we are not talking about a שנה מעובדת with respect to the year, the months of which we are trying to know if they are going to be מלא or חסר. אבל אם הייתה מעובדת, but if this year is going to be מעובדת, אם תמצא בין יום קביעתה ובין יום קביעה שנה שלאחריה 4 ימים, then if you find that the spread is 4 days, in the way we explained in the last הלכה, יהיו חודשי אותה שנה מעובדת חסרים, then the months are going to be חסרים. ואם תמצא ביניהם 5 ימים, יהיו כסדרם. If you find 5 days, then they follow in the right order. ואם תמצא ביניהם 6, יהיו שלמים. כסד, now an example, הרי שרצינו לידע סידור חודשי שנה זו, והיה ראש השנה בחמישי, והיא פשוטה. Let's say that we want to know of this year, 5,777, how the months are going to be of Heshvan and Kislev. And Rosh Hashanah of 5,777 was on a Thursday. Let's just assume, I didn't look exactly this year when it was, but let's assume that this year was that way, just for the purpose of this example. והיא פשוטה, like this year happens to be, there is no other bet. וראש השנה שלאחריה בשני בשבת, and next year, Rosh Hashanah is going to fall on a Monday. נמצא ביניהם 3 ימים, so between Thursday and Monday you have 3 days. ידענו, that we know, ששנה זו חודשיה כסדרם, that in this year the months are in the right order. In other words, Mar Heshvan is going to have 29 days, Kislev is going to have 30 days. ואילו היה ראש השנה שלאחריה בשלישי, if Rosh Hashanah, however, was on a Tuesday, היו חודשי שנה זו שלמים. Then we'd have it between Thursday and Tuesday, you have Friday, Shabbat, Sunday, and Monday. That's 4 days, which, following the rule, it means that it's going to have the 2 months שלמים. ואילו היה ראש השנה בשנה זו בשבת, ובשנה שלאחריה בשלישי בשבת, and if it was this year on Shabbat and next year on Tuesday, then we only have 2 days, and then היו חודשי שנה זו חסרים, this means that both months are going to be חסר, ועל דרך זאת תחשב שנה מעובדת כמו שביארנו, and you do the same with שנה מעובדת, with the exception that if it's מעובדת, and the spread is of 4 days, then it's חסרים, if it's of 5 days it's כסדרם, and if it's of 6 days it's שלמים. הלכה יוד. יש שם סימנים שתסמוך עליהם, כדי שלא תטעי בחשבון סידור חודשי השנה, והם בנויים על עיקרי זה החשבון והקביעות והדחיות שבארנו דרכם. There is a few proofs, a few tests that you can do if you are not sure. So you're trying to plan your Rosh Hashanah of next year, or you're trying to plan Rosh HaHodesh Kislev of next year, and you don't know if it's going to be Haser or Maleh. You follow the calculations, but you want to be sure. So there's a few tests Rambam is going to give that are built. They assume the same things that we've been studying in these last few chapters. And by going through them, you can test whether or not you're correct. Veluhem, and these are Kol Shana shehiye Rosh Hashanah ba b'shelishi. If Rosh Hashanah falls on a Tuesday, tiye le'olam kesidram lefi cheshbon zeh. If it falls on a Tuesday, you know for a fact that Heshvan and Kislev are going to be 29 and 30 days respectively. Ben peshuta, ben me'oberet, whether it is peshuta or me'oberet. Ve'im yeh Rosh Hashanah b'Shabbat or b'Sheni. If Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbat or on Monday, lo tiyeh kesidram le'olam. It's never going to be kesidram. It's going to be either maleh or haser. Ben b'pshuta, ben b'me'oberet. If you want to know whether it's maleh or haser, then you go through the calculations. Ve'im yeh Rosh Hashanah b'Hamishi. If Rosh Hashanah falls on a Thursday, im peshuta then if it's not an extended year, if there is no other bet, it's never going to be Chodashei Hasarim, both Heshvan and Kislev having 29 days. If this year, however, is extended, then this month can never be in the right order according to this calculation. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen. With it, we finished really the easy part of Ilchot Qiddush HaHodesh. The next couple of chapters are still not as difficult as the rest, but they're more difficult than we've been studying so far. And I wish all of us Shabbat Shalom and Pesach Kasher V'Sameach.